Alright, hey, what's up YouTube? Long time no see. Good to see you guys again. I know it's been a while since we filmed a video. I think it's been about 3 months. I think the last video we filmed was our 100 grams of fiber and a protein, or no, 100 grams of fiber in one single day consuming. I think it was over 100 grams, so that was about 3 months ago. Haven't really filmed any video since. We've just kind of been enjoying our quarantine time here. I've been employed for over 90 days now. I'm still unemployed. Today's June 23rd. Right now I'm filming at a park that's about 3 blocks from our house. This is Wilder Park. This is a beautiful and gorgeous park. This is my hammock here, as you can see. I love my hammock. Gorgeous park out here. I don't know, I always like to show nature and scenery. If you've been following us for a while, you probably noticed that. Real quick, briefly, since I've been able to go back to work and I haven't gotten unemployment in over 2 months, and I've been unemployed for over 90 days, I'm doing online virtual training with people. I'm also training people at this park. If you're watching this and you live in the Chicago area, I'd be happy to train you in this park. I got resistance bands, dumbbells, TRXs, and I can also train people in Zoom. So just trying to get that little business started. I'm charging about $25 a session. The gym charges $50 for a half-hour session. So I'm charging a lot cheaper. Price may be negotiable as well, if it's something you're interested in and you're short money. I understand hard times and being short on money. But anyways, I wanted to talk about heart disease here, because heart disease is a real big issue we have in our world. I gotta be honest, I'm having trouble taking this COVID stuff seriously, and one of the reasons is it's not because I want to see people die. That's not it at all. I'm a personal trainer. This is a health YouTube channel. That's the last thing I want to see. It's because heart disease is a real big issue in our world today, and I don't think that's taken very seriously at all. And we've gone in all these extreme measures with coronavirus, shutting down the whole economy, the $2 trillion stimulus bill passed, all these extreme measures, face masks, social distancing, people are getting anxiety and stuff. I haven't gotten unemployment in a long time. All these extreme measures to save lives, but there's very little emphasis on heart disease. So according to the World Health Organization, an estimated 17.9 million deaths happen every year due to cardiovascular disease. Now, the WHO's website does specifically say this is estimated, so that means this number may not be completely accurate, but the point is this is in the millions and it's killing way more than coronavirus. Now, I get what you're going to say, well, coronavirus isn't contagious and heart disease isn't, and yes, I understand that. But even though coronavirus is contagious and heart disease is not contagious, you don't pass it on from someone else, and that's why we got to take these measures. The point is, there is very little emphasis on how to reduce your incidence of heart disease. I mean, what if coronavirus killed 17 million a year? That would just be insane, and the world would go into a panic. It'd be chaos. But heart disease kills 17 million a year, and people don't seem to be scared of that at all. And 1 in 4, so that roughly there's about 2 million deaths of Americans each year. A little over 2 million people die every year in America. And according to the CDC, 647,457 deaths per year in the US come from heart disease. Of course, that number is not going to be the exact same every year, obviously, but that's roughly about the number. So over 500,000 people in the US alone are dying a year. So 1/4 of the deaths in the US are happening because of cardiovascular disease. Every 37 seconds, someone is dying of heart disease. Heart disease is costing the US $219 billion each year, which, you know, after that stimulus act, that doesn't actually sound like that much anymore. Every year, 805,000 people in the US have a heart attack. That's insane. So obviously a lot of people do recover and are not dying, but still, why would you want to go through a needless heart attack? I know I sure don't. And 1 in 5 of these attacks are silent, according to the CDC. So typically a heart attack, how does that actually happen? It will happen when there's too much plaque in the arteries from excessive cholesterol is typically how it happens. The arteries will narrow, blocking blood flow to the heart. These plaques will rupture, creating a blood clot. So the big risk factors, according to the CDC, are high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol, smoking, diabetes, overweight and obesity, unhealthy diet, physical inactivity, excessive alcohol use. Of the research I did, because I took a health class this past semester, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm a college student again. I'm going to be a gym teacher hopefully in a couple years. The biggest risk factor seems to be cholesterol in the research I came across. Now, I do want to mention before I get into the research here, why, trust me, I'm just some guy on the internet talking. Well, for one, I'm quoting sources. I'm not quoting myself. Some people always say, you know, you're not a doctor. Why should I listen to you? Well, I'm quoting from professional sources, and most of the information I'm getting here is from the World Health Organization, the CDC, the American Heart Association, and Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Die, because he's a professional doctor, and I think he's very unbiased, which he's accused of being biased. In my opinion, he is not. And I don't think he sugarcoats anything. I think he does a good job presenting the information. So you know, why listen to me? I'm just some guy on the internet. I think I'm quoting from pretty credentialed sources. I just always want to throw that out there, because why should you listen to me? I'm just some guy on the internet. So, according to the American Heart Association, your body needs cholesterol to build cells. According to Harvard Medical School, cholesterol is found in every cell in your body. It is a crucial building block for cell membranes. Cholesterol is needed for the production of vitamin D as well. Jet plane going by, might be a little loud. I'm going to continue in just a second. Alright, sorry about that. The plane is gone. We live pretty close to O'Hare Airport, so a lot of planes go right over us. Cholesterol is needed for the production of vitamin D. Cholesterol is also used for hormone balance, such as producing estrogen and testosterone. So you don't want to have zero cholesterol in you. It's something that's needed. Harvard Medical School also mentions that our body makes all the cholesterol we need. 80% of it comes from our liver. Ideally, you want your cholesterol to be below 200. 200 to 239 is high, and anything above 240 is getting in the danger zone. You definitely want to, if it's 200 above, it needs to get lowered. You don't want to be in any danger zones. So the CDC recommends cholesterol getting checked every 4 to 6 years, but if you have heart disease, or if it runs in your family, or you have diabetes or other health conditions, it may be wise to get it checked more often. William Roberts notes in the American Journal of Cardiology, this was a source in Dr. Greger's book, that it's the cholesterol that is the root of the problem, and he dismissed all other risk factors such as smoking, diabetes, high blood pressure. William notes that when you give herbivores, so that would be us humans or rabbits, you know, not carnivores, herbivores, high saturated fat diets, then they get heart disease. If you give carnivores such as cat, dogs, and lions high amounts of cholesterol, they don't get heart disease. And he also notes that no matter what the lifestyle is, if your cholesterol is less than 150, it's almost impossible, and under extremely rare circumstances does somebody get heart disease. Now, however, in the research I did not come across any other sources saying this. So I don't know if we should take that as gospel necessarily, that cholesterol is the only factor. He's stating in the Journal of Cardiology that cholesterol is the only real factor, but I think I've heard smoking raises your cholesterol, so physical inactivity, I believe, can also raise your cholesterol. So I think it is wise to dismiss all other conditions as risk factors for heart disease. And we got to figure, if this disease is killing 17 million a year and over 500,000 people in the US every year, there's not necessarily one cause and one case that's causing it with such a big problem in our world today. It's not necessarily one cause. And again, I do think coronavirus is a little bit overhyped here. I mean, heart disease is killing, again, 18 million a year, and that bothers me that so little emphasis is being done. I know the government and organizations can't control what we eat, but there is very little, if any, encouragement to eat healthier, in my opinion. So how do we exactly prevent heart disease that kills nearly 18 million people a year? How do we do that? Well, I'm going to mention one study here, and I'm going to do a second video on this because this video is already 11 minutes long, and people don't like to watch long videos, especially when it's just a lecture style like this. It's not like I'm doing anything interesting or a stunt or something, so it's not too interesting of a video. But so we'll get into it next video, but I do want to briefly mention this study, and I'm going to briefly mention it again in the next video in the beginning of it, which I'm going to be filming in another 5 minutes here. This study is absolutely amazing. This came from Dr. Greger's book, How Not to Die. All my sources that I've been quoting from today are going to be put down in the description below, which is 7 sources. Keep in mind, you may not have access to all these sources. I had to go through my college database to get some of these sources. Otherwise, some of these sources that you'll see in the description, you're going to actually have to buy or do a subscription because they're professional sources. So in 1960, in the American Journal of Cardiology, so we're talking, 60 years ago now, we've known how to prevent heart disease, at least. This is the most eye-opening study I've seen. So these researchers, they used 3 groups of people. Again, this is all in Dr. Greger's book. They found in the St. Louis group, they had a group of white St. Louis patients and St. Louis Negroes, as well as Ugandan Negroes. They found in the St. Louis group of 632 people that there were, get this, 136 heart attacks. They did autopsies on these people. Of these 632 dead people, 136 heart attacks. However, in the age-matched Ugandan group, there was 1 single heart attack in the 632 people. So, okay, genetics is often a big thing that's blamed because, you know, we blame things on genetics all the time. It seems like genetics has a very little, if any, influence. You had one heart attack in the Ugandans, and then 136 in the people in St. Louis, and these are the people of the same race. So cholesterol should not be named on genetics alone, especially not heart disease. Maybe it plays a little bit of a factor, but I'm convinced after looking into this study that Dr. Greger posted in his book, How Not to Die, that genetics plays a different role. But then what was the difference? Well, the difference is lifestyle and diet. The people in Uganda, Africa are following a more plant-based diet. They're eating whole grains and fruits and vegetables. Here in the US, we're eating things full of sugar. We're eating lots of processed foods. We're eating a lot of meat, fish, dairy, eggs, butter, excessive amounts of salt. The American diet is far from healthy. So we're going to go into part 2, which I'm going to film right now. That video should be up shortly of how to reverse heart disease part 2. And thanks for watching, guys. Give this a like if you like it. So if you are interested in the training, you can call me or text me at 630-301-4533 or email me at jacob_revor@yahoo.com. I'll have that flashed across the screen here. I've already made a difference in the lives. One of my clients just started a Zoom session with me 6 weeks ago. She's already lost 10 pounds and lost 5% body fat, which is absolutely amazing. So I can help you reach your goals too if you'd like. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.